Girl sneaks into Russian military factory. Takes amazing photos. Lana Santor is her name, and she snuck into this factory, which is right outside of Moscow, and took some photos. And now the Russian government's harassing her. The pics make the place look a little abandoned, but it is an active industrial military complex, which belongs to one of the top manufacturers of liquid fuel rockets for the world. Okay, so how did this girl sneak in? Well, she hopped the fence. Is she crazy, or is she some civilian hero for exposing these pictures? The conspiracy theorists would say the Russian government set it up and is distracting you from what they really want you to see. And here's some ATS members' response. Bag Bing says, "Is it me? Or these photos look like they're from an abandoned power station." Jude 11 says, "I find it highly suspicious she was just able to sneak in." Captain Beyond writes, "This is old technology. That's why it's not guarded." Tarifa 37 posts an interesting pic with the date 18/05/12. So what does that mean? And the last post ends with Dadle posting an article that the security officer was asleep during the breach. So ATS, what do you think? Put in your comment all by clicking that link below. Back in 06, Arm of Geddon posts a thread. Proof of reptilians. First, let me inform you what a reptilian is. So basically, when you're abducted by those aliens, you come in contact with the reptilian humanoid. In his post, he says he can prove their existence once and for all. The only catch? He's going to need 4 critical components to make it happen. What might that be? Well, let's check out what he's asking for. 1. Funding. Not a large budget, but a few million would do it. Okay, well, why is that? Well, to pay for the scientists and the equipment, leading us to his second demand. Scientists. Not a lot, just about a dozen or so. Third, time. He needs time to create a device that can record from that realm. And last but not least, he requires no government dogs. What's great is before he ends the post, he says that he too will need a salary. Not much, but enough to get by. Okay, so bring me some comments. Frosty says, "This is generic. What do you need millions for? Retire in Jamaica?" Unreal Reality writes, "Suppose you get these resources and find no evidence. Then what?" Mr. Jelly says, "They do not exist. There, you can go back to life and be responsible, observe reality, and not be delusional." Crescent Moon writes, "Death to all reptilians. Those evil controlling lizards need to perish." Okay, ATS, there's a lot of great comments throughout the thread, so I suggest you check it out and ask yourself, are there reptilian humanoids? Number 1. And number 2, is the government going to give Armageddon funding to go figure out if there is such a thing? So let me know what you think, all by clicking that link. And now an older post by ZipDot from 2005. Pictures from inside Groom Lake. Many believe that it was taken at Area 51 in the mid-70s. Well, more specifically Groom Lake, which sits just north of the Area 51 military installation. It's a salt flat used for a runway. This is a photo thread, so there's a lot of great interesting photos. Let's take a peek at them. Ixmodnad, IKSMODNAD, shows pictures of supercomputers, hangars, and aircraft. Ghost shows some pictures of hangars and aircraft as well. Kate24 says, "Are you sure those are authentic pics?" They sure are, Kate24, I think. Technic posts 2 pics of a satellite and some internal operations center. It looks old though. Second Seed writes, "Oh yeah, the top secret planes look really cool, but where's the aliens and spacecraft?" And in a more recent thread, Groom Lake, been there, posted by charlyV. While in the Navy as an AW-1 stationed at Willow Grove, his crew went from Pennsylvania to California for a training exercise. And they headed there in a Lockheed P-3B anti-submarine warfare aircraft. And as they cross into Nevada, their number 4 engine goes haywire. Okay, so use your other 3 engines. The pilot radioed the controller in charge, which happened to be in Las Vegas. Okay, to make a long story short, the Air Force controller took charge and directed the plane to a place in the desert, in between mountains, with no navigation on the map. When they arrived, the armed Marines said they were in Little Rock for the night. As the plane was being repaired, the pilot and the crew were treated to food and entertainment. What was uncommon was the pilot would usually work on the plane. So the next day, the plane and crew were ready to go, and they went off to California. Okay, so that was back in 1976, and now charlyV realizes that that was Area 51. Shadowhawk posts and adds additional information, saying that hangars 9 through 16 were used for Project Oxcart and later used for the Senior Trend Project, but in 76 they were empty. The largest hangars at the time were located at the north end of the complex, but they were filled with Soviet fighters. ATS, the Senior Trend Project, was going on over 30 years ago. What do you think they got going on now? Comment on in and let us know by clicking below. Okay, so you have a question about one of the stories. I'm on Twitter, so ask me. This is Brian with ATS Recap, signing off.